Hi friends, here we are, Money, Sex, and Kids once again, where, well, money should not be the biggest argument in your marriage. Sex really should be
amazing. It should always be amazing. Yeah.
I know it's not always. And kids, well, they can be lovely, wonderful, and annoying all at the same time, and we're still figuring all that out.
We're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to talk about. It's what I've been talking about for the last couple of years online, on my podcast, is money.
Yes.
Money, 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 money. So I love talking about this. So let's just jump right in. So you saw the title of this episode.
Yeah.
But we are going to show you how to save $1,000 or how to basically increase your family budget by $1,000 a month. Okay.
And not just by cutting everything out, right?
No, we're going to show you some cool things.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff.
Okay.
Cutting's part of it. But
Cutting has to be a part of it.
Because $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year. And if I told you, hey, I know a way where I can give you $12,000 more a year, you would listen. So here we go. We're jumping right in.
Okay.
Cheers.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, is that why we have a beer? Okay. All right. I guess it makes them talk better about money. Okay. So cutting back. Here we go first. Unused subscriptions. Those pesky ones that you forget that you signed up for.
Yeah, so they're called gray charges. So in the industry, they actually call them gray charges. They're notorious. Things are like and I don't want to pick on any companies, but the Pandoras, the iTunes $5 a month subscription to something, Amazon Prime.
And fine if you're using them and you live by them, but if you are strapped and you are trying to get out of debt, sometimes those things have to go.
So if you go through this, and we do this a lot with our clients, is we go through one by one by one by one, you get $5 to death, right? And all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, like we have all these subscriptions. We technically don't use them that much. So we're looking at $5 here and there, $7 here and there. That comes out to be about $50 a month or $600 per year, okay? Now, if you don't feel like going through there and doing it all yourself, there is a free app that we use that I highly recommend. We'll put links down below this video. It's called Trim. Now, how Trim works is actually not an app. You sign up for Trim, and it works through Facebook Messenger. And so Trim will send you a message in Messenger, and they'll say, hey, Chris, we noticed you have these 7 subscriptions. Would you like to cancel them? You just hit yes. There's a button that says yes, and it does it for you. And they don't charge you to do that. So if you don't have time to go and pick up the phone and call or go online and log in, they do all of that for you on your behalf. So we'll put links in there. It's amazing.
Okay.
$50 a month, $600 a year. Cheers.
Okay, cheers to that. He'll drink to that. Cable, internet, and phone. And oftentimes they all go together, but this is not necessarily, we're talking about the big cable companies, because when we were first getting out of debt, we cut all that. I mean, we didn't have cable at all.
Yes.
We watch TV off of a HD antenna.
Well, times definitely changed, right?
Yeah, and now there's, most people watch their TV all through internet streaming.
So a lot of it is through internet streaming, but what I would do is you have to have either some kind of cable or internet service provider, right? So that even if you cut your cable, you still have to work with these companies because they have the infrastructure and that's how you're getting all of your internet or whatever it might be. But if you have all of that, the cable, the internet, the TV, that is all negotiable, okay? So they have to keep you as a customer. Keep that in mind. I mean, that's their last line of defense. You know how many times you've gone to cancel and they keep you on the phone, they keep you on the phone, they keep you on the phone, is you are worth so much to them over the lifetime of a customer. So when they lose you, they don't lose your money that month. They lose your money for the lifetime that you've been a customer, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. So from
And
somebody who I know who's in the cable business, right, they've told me that everything is negotiable. So don't call up, don't call up and yell at them. Be super friendly with them because these people are yelled at all day long and they get to make decisions on how low your bill can go. And so be super friendly, be super nice, and ask, is there anything I can do? And I promise you, there's always something buried down there. Oh, we have a new customer introductory offer. So we did this for our internet, and the lady on the phone actually said, so set a Google Calendar reminder that on this day every year you call us back and you ask for that discount again or it automatically goes up. How many times we forget that? So I looked at that. The average is about $70 a month when you do this for your cable, for your internet, and for your cell phone. $70 a month comes out to be $840 a year.
That's
right?
huge.
$840. So we're already over $1,000 a year right there, those two things.
Okay, we're winning so far. Banking costs.
Yes. So
We have to bank. I mean, we have to have a bank.
So a lot of banks out there, if you are your traditional banks, the ones on every corner of the buildings.
The big building ones.
They're the most expensive, I will be honest. And the reason why is because they cannot really compete anymore with online banks. So we've moved to online banks. We do use a credit union, but a lot of our banking is done with online banks. And the reason why is online banks don't have buildings. They might have 1 to 2 across the country. They have less staff. Their infrastructure costs are way, way lower. There's no brick and mortar shops, so they pass those savings on to you. So there's no convenience fees. There's no, inactivity fee. There is no low balance fee. You can literally have these savings accounts, these checking accounts, $0 in it for as long as you want, and there's no fees associated with it. So what I would do is one of 2 things. I would move over to online banks, and it sounds like it's super complicated. You could do it all online. It's super, they've made it, trust me, the online banks want your business. They're doing everything they can to move you over to them. And then another thing is if you do want to stay at your bank, they need to keep you as a customer because people are leaving them and they're going to online banks. You call them on the phone, you be very, very nice. You say, look, I know the last couple of months I've had some overdraft fees. On average, they run about $29 a month. What can you do for me to keep me as a customer? I love this bank. I want to stay here with you. I love the customer service. Is there anything that you can do? So $29 a month comes out to be $348 a year by picking up the phone and making that call.
That's great. Okay, moving on. Car insurance. We have to drive.
So everybody always thinks they're getting the best deal. You ever think about that? I mean, no one's driving around going, man, my car insurance is just through the roof. I'm getting screwed, right?
Yeah,
no one says that. Everybody thinks they're getting a deal. The truth is there's so many car insurance business companies or businesses out there, and I'm sure if you watch any kind of YouTube channels or anything like that, you'll see a lot of them use YouTube to market, right? I see them all the time, which means there's competition.
Yeah.
Which means you might be overpaying, especially if you have not negotiated in the last year or 2. So call your insurance agent up. If you have a friendly one, call them up and say, hey, Bob, it's so-and-so. Hey, I love you. I want to stay with you. What can you do for me? And just shut up, right? If you're like, I don't care, shop around, right? You should be doing this once every 1 to 2 years. Shop around those rates. Now, another thing I recommend is premium deductible. So premium is how much you pay each month. Deductible is how much you pay when you get in an accident or when you have to use insurance. Do you know if you raise your deductible from $500 to $1,000, you're going to find savings in your monthly premium? The reason why is you're transferring risk onto yourself away from the insurance company. If you do these 2 things in combine, I estimate that's about $60 a month savings, okay, per car, and that's $720 per year. So far we've saved $600 a year, $840 a year with cable and internet, $348 a year with banking fees, banking costs, and now we're looking at $720 a year if you make those phone calls to your car insurance company.
Okay, moving on, more ways to cut back. Yard service, and really any sort of housekeeping service that you might have. And I think this is one of those things early on when we were getting out of debt, and what you still tell clients that are, swimming in debt, like you do have to cut, you just have to stop that stuff. I mean, if you have no money, you have to stop doing those things. But if you're at that point where you have some debt and something like that is something that helps you because you can work more hours so that you're not, spending an hour doing the yard, but you can spend an extra hour meeting with a client to make more money to bring in more income, then you weigh the cost of that.
Yes.
But you said, again, that's negotiable too.
Everything's negotiable. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Like every other country in the world barters and negotiates on the norm. And then when we ask for a deal, we feel like we're being rude or, it's just, we should be negotiating, right?
Yeah,
It's
or
like
at least asking.
At least
If they say no,
it's
they say
always
no.
a no if you don't ask.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. So when you're cutting back on, if you have a house cleaning lady or a cleaning man or if you have a landscaper, pool person, whatever you have for services, if you notice you need to start cutting back, but you're like, look, I'm working full time. I have so much going on. I can't do the yard. It would never get done. Then maybe if you're at weekly service, say, can we cut back to every other week? Okay. They're not going to say no because again, they have to generate income, right? This is their living. They're going to try to keep you as a customer. So maybe just say, is there any way that we can meet in the middle? I could come halfway. Another thing I recommend doing is go around to your neighbors and say, I have a wonderful yard guy. Okay. And so this yard guy, I can only afford to have him come half the time. Would you like him to come on the other weeks? Because maybe they can't afford a full-time yard guy or whatever it might be. And as somebody who used to clean pools when I was in college and trying to get out of debt, when you can get an account next door to each other, it is always a yes.
Yeah.
Right? Always a yes
Easy.
for the landscaper or for whoever's doing the pool. So I estimate if you do that, that's about a $90 a month savings on just negotiating there. So That's over $1,000 a year. We're at $1,080 a year in savings there.
Okay, grocery shopping.
This is your expertise. So
We
I'm gonna
have
shut
to
up.
eat, right? And when we were getting out of debt and like really like laser focused on that, we didn't eat out, so we bought groceries and ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, mostly always in. And at that time, we did a lot of not couponing as much, but ad matching. And they don't do it as much at all the stores, but you can still do that. And when I was hardcore into that, it was like a straight up spreadsheet, apples to zucchini.
Okay, yeah.
And
So
I
ad matching real quick for those of you that don't know.
Ad matching is when you take the ads of all the various stores and you compare, and if apples are being sold at, this store, but at, Walmart they're being sold at this price, and you're shopping at Walmart anyway, and they're going to recognize that saving, they will give you the cost and sell them to you for the price that this store was selling them to. And I went to a Walmart back in the day that used to like not even make me bring in the ads. It depends on the store, and it just depends on their policy now. So
I believe Target does it. Walmart no longer ad matches, but I believe Target now ad matches.
So, and again, that helped then. Now, again, this was like 7 years ago. So now I am still super mindful, and we have a budget for groceries every month. And groceries is definitely one of the costliest things, the most costly
It should be,
things.
besides your mortgage, one of the bigger costs in
Yeah.
your monthly cash flow plan.
So-
groceries should be at the highest. I've been doing this a while, and
It always seems to be.
It's about 90% of the time I see somebody come in. If it's not their debt payments that are the largest payment, it's their grocery bill.
So if it's high, if your grocery bill's high, then don't think that you're not with the norm.
You're not going to hell.
You're
no,
not.
you're not.
You're not.
Yeah.
So what I have found now, what I do, I still kind of stay dedicated to a couple of stores. I only grocery shop once a week. And I mean, that's like kind of like my commitment now. Some weeks are different, with a holiday coming up, or I forgot this, but I really try to map out a list for the week. And I am not the best at saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're eating all of these things. But I buy things that we will then eat for, dinner these nights of the week, and then we carry over a lot of meals, a lot of lunch over. But one of the things that I stick to still at least 2 to 3 times a week, especially at Fry's, because we have one just down the street, it's just easy.
Kroger, if you're listening.
Kroger, from somewhere else. ClickList. So your first couple of orders are free. With that, after you've done that, taken advantage of the free orders, it's $4.95 per order. Now let me tell you, that to me is worth it. Again, this is the weigh it all out and see what it is. I spend less if I ClickList, because I go through the app, I do it all on my phone, and I pick and choose what we're going to eat. Now, I always stick to a budget that way, because I'm not perusing the aisles, I'm not adding things in the cart that look good, or I go hungry in this, and so I always stick to the budget. So like at the end of the month, usually my grocery budget, because I usually spend a lot of it in the beginning of the month, by the end I'm left with a little less money to play with. So I always try to ClickList at the last 2 weeks of the month, because I can absolutely stay nailed into that budget a lot easier. And it's a little inconvenient, but they will take coupons. So they'll recognize your VIP savings, and that comes off at the end of the order. But you get a good baseline as to what your cost will be, because you have to put your credit card in to approve the order and send it to be fulfilled. But at the end, when you go and pick up your groceries in your car, you don't get out. So again, this is saving you time when you're busy. They will come out and you can give them your coupons, and then they will adjust the cost of whatever you spend. So if you have coupons, you can still do it that way as well. And again, that's it's easy, and it's an easy way to save money and stick to a budget.
The reason why it works for the ClickList is because when you're at the store, it's hard to count up what's going in the cart.
Oh yeah.
When you get to the checkout, you have a line of people behind you. You're not going to be one of those people that are like, time out, everybody hold off on me, I'm going to put this stuff back. Where you're on ClickList, if you know you only have $120 to spend, and you start adding stuff electronically in your cart, and you get to 126, you're like, okay, X, 120, good. And that's why it works. So when she says it's $4.95 or $5, it's $5 for the convenience, but it also saves you money, because
I think you end up saving
yeah.
way more. And you get to save your sanity, because you don't take your kids in the store, which is absolutely a nightmare.
Can I just say, one of the things I'm super jealous of is we have an older car So we don't have the type of car where we could push the button and like the back hatch lifts up.
Yeah.
But I've been at the grocery store.
When that happens.
And I just see like she pulls up and goes.
Do you have envy?
And I sit there and I go.
Because we still have to get out of our car to open up the back hatch.
I'm like, wow, what are they doing? What are they doing with their lives if they have a button to push the hatchback?
They're not driving a 165,000-mile Kia, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Okay. Now,
so we talked about cutting back.
Well,
right?
so grocery shopping, if you do those little mindful tips, about $40 a week is kind of what we average. So that's $160 a month, and that ends up being $1,920 a year. So $1,920 a year of savings.
So right there, when we go back, we do our
added
the
all
pesky
that up.
unused subscriptions, the cable, internet, or phone subscriptions, the banking costs, car insurance, yard service, and grocery shopping. That is a $5,508 savings per year.
Okay.
And you're thinking, that can't be right. Hey, we paid off $52,000 in 7 months using these exact type plans. We were even more extreme. So I will be honest with you. When I was putting these numbers together, I was so conservative. There's more in there, but I would think you were going to call BS on us.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of how we did it. Is we cut way back. And so when I say $5,508 per year, that's on the conservative side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right.
Okay.
So we talked about cutting, which no one likes cutting, so we save dessert for last.
Of
Dessert
course. Dessert is side hustles. Okay.
Extra money.
He loves
so
to
awesome.
make extra money. So, and you hear that word all the time now, side hustles, right? It's kind of a fun.
I was saying side hustle before it was cool.
You actually were.
Yes.
I'm going to give you that
Thank
right
you very
now.
much.
I'm giving you that.
She never gives me anything, so thank you.
By the way, you actually did write a wonderful article on like over 80 different side hustles, and I'm telling you, there are things
I've done a lot of them too.
Yeah, you have. There are things out there that are mind-blowing that people will pay you to do. And some of them require you not leaving your house. So make sure you put that link.
Yeah, we'll put the link in there. There's online hustles, offline hustles, in your neighborhood hustles.
Yeah.
There's so many cool different hustles, but we'll put in there.
Okay.
But we wanted to talk about probably
some easy ones
here
right
we have
now.
3 of the most common, easy, everybody can do it
that
type.
generate income.
That will make income. So
yeah.
The first one is she's awesome at it, okay? So you've seen in some of the other episodes the couch we sit on,
yeah.
okay? So that couch cost money, right? I wanted that couch so bad.
Because he hated the other couches.
Okay, we're not going there though. I hated that couch. So
He
anyway, I wanted a new couch. The deal was, if we're going to buy this couch, we need to come up with some income to put towards this couch.
Right.
So I left it up to her.
Okay.
And in one day.
So one Sunday after church, we go and we look at this couch, and we could get the couch the next day. And of course, we had cash to pay for the couch, right? But we're not going to just buy it and not, like, what are we going to do with the couches that we have? Put them on the street corner? They were perfectly fine. Somebody will buy them. So we came home after we purchased that couch. And by the way, he always asks at a furniture store if they give a cash discount and if the price is negotiable. And one time, this couch, they said no, it wasn't. So it was fine, but we asked, right? The last couch we had, it was.
Yep.
Okay, so I tell you that because you have to ask. Facebook Marketplace. Okay, SwipSwap, the online garage sales, everybody's a part of those groups. I don't really love them. I'm just going to be, I have had some luck with them, and sometimes I go on a roll and I get good luck with them, but oftentimes I don't. Well, Facebook Marketplace is a little bit different because it kind of, the parameters are a little bit bigger, and it does go into those groups of SwipSwap groups. It's just a little more broad. I like it better. And I feel like I can sell things faster. So that day, we sold all the furniture plus some odds and ends things that we had. And we had like a bike trailer outside. I mean, little things that we just were like in this mood
Stuff that
selling.
was in the way, actually.
Yeah,
like things that were like, we were stepping over going, this is such a pain, we should get rid of this. We were going to give it away, actually. Some of them were like, just put it on the street corner, get it out of here.
So that day, sold all that stuff. Now, again, this is a good day, $500 we made.
So $500 in a day. And so we'll show you some screenshots here. If you see this Facebook app here, see this little button down here? This is the button we're talking about. It looks like a little storefront. Click on that button. Now, forewarning, okay, because I didn't know how quickly this happens, is when you put something on there, your Facebook Messenger, which is the text message thing in Facebook, it will blow up like crazy. You can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow, why would people have a garage sale when, can you imagine you put stuff on your driveway for a garage sale and within 10 seconds you have 40 people asking to buy it right then? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so you almost have to shut it down saying, hey, stop bothering me, So
But it works. So that we averaged, say you just did that once a month, and you averaged about $100 a month just by finding things you don't really use anymore, repurposing them, and then selling them. That's $400.
No. So it wouldn't be $100 a month.
Oh yeah, $100.
We were saying you're not going to sell your stuff
every quarter.
Every quarter,
Every
right?
quarter.
So you're only going to do these garage sales once a quarter.
Yeah.
So let's say it's $100 every single quarter. That's $400 a year.
That's not bad, right?
Not bad, but we're getting a lot better. We have some better stuff here.
Okay.
So a big thing that I'm a fan of, and I'll give you an example, is helping people with everyday chores.
Okay. Just recently.
Just recently. So a kid down the street on the mailbox, he says, if you have Christmas lights and you don't want to hang them, I will hang them for you.
Yeah.
This 14-year-old kid came over on his off day, Veterans Day. He's a student, he's 14. And so, he put up my Christmas light. He made $100 that day, right? So there are people out there. You are one of the people out there are too busy, right? You're too busy to do everything, right? So you have to outsource your life a little bit so you can manage everything. You're going to go crazy. There are people out there that will pick up dog poop, right?
Yep.
There are people out there that will, if you don't know how to clean houses, you clean your own house, go offer that. Just go to the mailbox or offer it on Facebook or something. Walking dogs. There was 2 kids down the street that came over and they asked if they could clean out my trash can. I said, sure. They did my trash can for $10. They did about 40 other trash cans for $10. So it took them an afternoon. You look at the math there, I'm like, these guys just made $400.
Let me tell you something. You think you don't need your dumpster on the side of your house cleaned out? Just wait.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You do, that is one of those things that I will pay him $10 a month.
All day long. But
all day.
If you needed a quick buck, right? It's not glorious to go clean out a trash, but you could do it.
You could do it.
You could do it.
And so we decided if you were one of those people helping people with everyday chores, something maybe you kind of enjoy
dogs, picking
doing
up dog
those things.
Poop. Just like, maybe go get groceries for somebody in the neighborhood that doesn't want to go to the house, that kind of stuff. I would think on average about $25 a week, but it's consistent because people, repeat every single week.
They need those things done.
So that's about $100 a month or $1,200 a year. Okay, we're getting there. We're at $400 and $1,200 a year.
Okay. Lastly.
This one's big. Okay, now it's
new, it's different.
It's not new anymore, but bigger risk, bigger. It's new. It's harder to do.
Yeah.
Right. Not hard to do. It's a little more inconvenience for you. But if you need money, okay, this is huge. Airbnb your room. I know firemen that do this, and it's crazy. They pay their mortgage in the first couple, 10 days of the month every month because they get this income. So here in Phoenix, on average, it's about $40 a night to rent out a room in your house. Okay. So yeah, it's a little strange that you have to, maybe share a room in your house with somebody. If you have a split floor plan, it's not a big deal. But remember, this is for if you're looking to get money, if you need it badly. Okay. Don't go take a loan out. $40 a night. On average, about 10 nights a month is about average rental for Airbnb here in Phoenix. I just pulled the comps on our own area. That's $4,800 a year. $4,800 a year.
That's a lot.
That's on the low end. I know a lady, she has a small house, and in the back of her house, she has a small little casita. Okay. Now they have a great location, and she does about $1,200 a month average renting that casita out.
And the nice part about that is it's a little bit more private, where she doesn't necessarily have a stranger in her house.
But if you don't, so I also know people, Steve, we know that he does Airbnb he has 2 bedrooms in his house, Airbnb it all, and he loves it because he gets sometimes people that commit to 3 months at a time. Maybe they're on contract work and they come in, and he doesn't say yes to everybody, right? He interviews them, makes sure, and he's like, I've met some of the most amazing people. They've become friends with me, right? And so that is really cool too.
Yeah.
So, think about that, $4,800 a year. So if we add up the side hustles we gave you, the Facebook Marketplace, helping people with everyday chores, and Airbnb, that's $6,400 a year. So when we cut back $5,500 a year, save $5,500 a year, and we make $6,400 a year,
total.
We're just under 12 grand.
And what is that divided by 12 months?
It's about $1,000 a month.
And there's
I told you we can get you to $1,000 a month, and there's so many more options. So we'll put links in the comments here, the details here, is that side hustle post. 84 different ways to generate income on the side.
Okay,
right?
Love it. All right, so no excuses. We all can do one of these, at least 1 or 2 or 3 of them. So we challenge you to try, and I think you could drink to that. That was good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, friends.